virtual liaison, and you're listening to the official TRL Talks podcast.
So if you cannot appreciate, then you fuck off. Tickets.
Hi guys, welcome back to TRL Talks podcast. It's your favorite podcast host, Oyinda here, back on another Wednesday with the first episode of season 3. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I don't know, I feel so optimistic about this season. And like, I don't know, I just feel like I have so many ideas and I'm just like so creative at the moment. But welcome back. It's Oyinda, aka the Retro Liaison, aka Big O, aka Podcast Mommy. You know how we do. Back at it again with these beautiful ladies. What better way to start the season though than like just beautiful black women just on your screen? Like, I be thinking, I give the people what they want.
That's from Periana.
And that's on period. So I'm gonna let you ladies go ahead and introduce yourselves, who you are, what you're about, what you does, you know, all of that stuff. Debola, you can start.
I have to be first. Okay, well, Debola, what am I about? I don't know, I just be vibing, you know.
She just be vibing. That's Debola of Lagos, you know. She
I
just
love
out here
that.
being a hot girl, you know, nothing serious, just vibes. Angela, what about you?
Hi, I'm Angela. I'm a model and I'm a nurse, and I just like to enjoy life, guys.
As you should.
That's really
As I should.
that's the
Honestly.
theme. All right.
Okay, hi, I'm Fifi. I'm still in school, unfortunately. This is my last semester. But when I graduate, I'm doing software architecture. And on the side, I have like my cooking business. But yeah, same thing. I like to chop life, love to travel, just hang out.
Period. You're an undergrad?
Yeah, undergrad.
Damn.
Nice.
What school do you go to?
Georgia Tech.
Okay. Hey, yeah.
I love how I said nice and you said damn.
Bro, because the idea of school, I think it's because like I'm doing my master's right now, and like I'm just like, damn, like this is just like, don't get me wrong, I love school this time around. I hated school when I was an undergrad. It wasn't for me, and I was still doing biology at the time, and I hadn't really found my calling. So like, it's one thing to be in school and be struggling, but it's another thing to be like struggling doing something that you're not that into.
Right.
So like, I'm having like a whole different experience this time around doing PR and marketing and what like I actually like am good at.
Want to do,
So,
yeah.
you know, it's cool. So let me go ahead and ask you guys, right? First of all, happy Valentine's Day in advance. Valentine's Day weekend is coming up, all of that stuff. So like, what's you guys' situation? Are you guys single? How do you feel about Valentine's Day? Like, are you guys like super into
Fuck
Valentine's?
love.
Didn't wait for you to be.
Very
Fuck love
simple.
and fuck everybody in love. Like, what?
Yeah.
I've never had a Valentine before. So,
Same. And like, if since it's just me, I might just go and meet somebody else's man. Like,
Do you know one? I didn't have a Valentine. Well, I never had a Valentine, but one time someone asked me and I said no because I was waiting for the person I truly wanted to ask me. Then that person did not ask me.
really shock you.
yeah.
Shock you for real.
Embarrassed.
I was in a long-term relationship, so like by default, like I always had like a Valentine, but like I don't know why, like Valentine's Day hasn't been one of those. It's never really like, I don't know, I really was never pressed about it. Like, it's cute and I love to see couples and I love love. Like, yeah, I'm a lover girl, so like I love to see love. Fifi is like, no. I love to see people in love and like just doing things, and I think it's cute, but like I'm also not a very like romantic person, so like it doesn't come naturally to me to like do the whole like grand gestures and stuff like that. And so because of that, I end up not expecting grand gestures to be done for me. So like I'm good with a little card and like flowers or a little edible arrangement or a nice dinner, but like I don't really care for the whole shebang, if that makes sense.
I want to experience that because like I love to give and I just like to show like my affection through like giving and just doing things grand. So
Mhm.
like I would like to receive that as well. But
Same.
I feel that.
Same. I feel like I've never had a Valentine's Day that shocked me, that someone really did something
Yeah,
that I
me
was like,
neither.
Mm-hmm.
Me
Same.
neither. I've never been wowed. But then again, I've never made the efforts to wow anybody. So like,
somebody else.
right.
I don't know
I mean,
if
but
I
just
should
because,
They say
just because you're
both.
not putting it in doesn't mean you shouldn't get it though. Like,
Fairs. I mean, I think that the energy that I kind of gave, especially like in my relationship, yeah, because obviously you don't want to do things for somebody that's gonna be like, yeah, okay,
fair.
like this. So yeah,
Yeah.
like I feel like I kind of made it so like, because he was more of a grand gestury type person, and like I feel like I kind of just created an environment where it was like, she's not really pressed, so like, what's
Yeah.
doing the extra
What's
amount?
the point of going all out? Yeah,
Honest, like, damn, but it is what, because I could have been receiving some shit, but you know what, it is what it is. This year, I'm me and my friends are planning a nice little spa day and a little dinner, maybe get wine drunk in the evening.
Listen, that's the best. I feel like people always forget like Valentine's Day is just not. It's not just partners. Like you can just hang
Exactly,
out with
fair enough.
have sometimes even better than hanging out with your partner.
Guy
This
can
is
lie.
one of those girls that do the Galentine. So like it's
I do Galentine.
Yeah, same.
I'm doing Galentine's for the first time this year. I feel like I love my friends, so it's like I'm
Welcome.
down for that. I'm very much like I love to be surrounded by like female energy, and like
absolutely.
it's what makes me happy. So I know like I'll be content at the end of the day. Like, and again, I'm just not that romantic, so it's just like, you know, I do want to change though for when like somebody does like swipe.
It's funny that you do get the guys that are like always want to go.
Always wanting to do things, and I just be like,
Teach me. I always get the bare minimum, and I'm like, look at me. Do I look like bare minimum?
Do you actually get? I feel that.
I really like. I have like I talk to guys that are like the. Let me not say guys, Shaq, because that just makes it seem like my dating life is really something. It's really not. But
Guys.
it's really not. It's not even that cute. But like I've had experience with guys that are just very much like, oh, let me do this for you, like helicopter vibes, and it's just
I must be nice. So
I don't, first of all, nobody has. That was a figure of speech. Nobody has ever called helicopter for me. And honestly, like, man, I don't know how I feel about romance. Like, it makes me cringe a little, but like, I don't want to be like that, you know. So, as we're talking about love and dating and stuff like that, so let's get into the cocoa of why we're here. So I called all of these ladies together, and I kind of like assigned us to different dating apps. I assigned my sister kind of assigned it for me because I didn't want to assign anything based on like my knowledge of people or
what
whatever.
you know.
Yeah, so like I got OK Cupid. What did you guys get?
I got Bumble.
So I got Hinge. Go ahead, babe.
You got Tinder, right? Okay, so background, who has experience with dating apps and who doesn't?
I've used it before.
I'm like the Bumble queen. When I first moved to Chicago, I dated a guy for 5 months and then we broke up, and since then I was just like queen of Bumble, just dates.
Debola, what about you?
I didn't have any background in like any
in any dating apps.
Yeah, so like this is
like a whole new thing for you, right?
Yeah, it was.
I'm still like a dating app baby. I tried towards the end of last year to like get into Tinder, and very quickly realized that Tinder specifically is just not for me. I don't know.
The ghetto.
That's like awesome fear.
That's why I wanted I specifically, because like I know I don't want to write it off because I know like people have found like good experiences on there, but like I wanted one of us to have Tinder because like I really like the whole point of like what I'm trying to see, or like the conversation I'm trying to have, is like we're all young women in our 20s, kind of like, you know, on the scene, seeing what's out there, blah blah blah, and like I really want to see like how beneficial these dating apps are to like us specifically, like, and like I felt like with Tinder specifically, and I'm gonna go around and ask you guys like how you felt, but with Tinder, I just felt like the representation just wasn't there. Like, how do you guys feel? Okay, I'll go ahead and talk about OkCupid because like that was the app. I'm not talking about Tinder, but so on OkCupid, I really, really do. Let me preface by saying this. I really like that app. Like, I think more people should get on it because, like, it's so thorough in, like, because basically, like, your profile is built up of, like, questions that you answer. And so the more questions you answer, the more complete your profile is. And, like, they match you based on other people's responses to the same questions. So it's like before you even, like, get to talking to somebody or get to, like, matching with somebody, like, you see like, okay, you're a 90 something percent match, meaning that most of the answers that you gave are answers that they gave as well. And so you know, like, you and that person might be compatible in some way, shape, or form. But I will say, as somebody who is predominantly interested in dating Black people really aren't, like, I don't know if they're not hip to it or they don't know about it yet, or it's not one of those things that's like out there in our community at the moment. But like there's really not, like, I maybe saw, like, up to date, I've maybe seen like 2 Black girls, and I've been on this app for like weeks. But what have you guys' experiences been? Fifi, you could start.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, based off what you said, like, I've never heard of the app before, so I didn't even know it existed. So I think that might be one of the reasons why you're not finding as many people. So, but for me, my app was Bumble, and it's ghetto. Like, it's not Tinder. No shade, sorry, but like,
This is a Tinder roast, basically.
so like in the past, I've used Hinge before, and I really liked how it went. Like, you could also do screening based off like race and ethnicity, stuff like that. But on Bumble, you have to pay. If you want to put the age range, you have to pay. If you want to put the location range, you have to pay.
Really?
Not true.
Yeah.
When I used Bumble, it wasn't like that. I think they've monetized a lot of features.
I think
like,
so too.
Isn't Bumble the hookup dating thing? It's like the dating app for like hookups, like solely hookups.
You know what? Until now, you know what I thought Bumble was for? I thought Bumble was like mostly like people looking for like friendships as opposed to like dating.
Also, there's two.
There is Bumble BFF. I've used that one too.
Okay, so that's like a separate platform.
Yeah.
That's a separate part of the app, but the same app, yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So on Bumble, is it true that like the woman has to make the first step?
Yeah.
Guy, that's my biggest headache in this life.
So how did you find that? Like, is that like are you comfortable like making the first move or like messaging first?
Yeah, because you're like, you probably won't ever see me in person, let's be honest. Like, maybe. I personally don't mind, but like, yeah, I really don't care. Like, I'll do it. I don't think it's that big a deal because, you know, it's not face to face. Plus, like, I guess one good thing is that they give you prompts. So instead of just saying like hi, if you type like hi, it might just give you like, oh, do you want to say this instead? Like, you just ask like, oh, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite song? Just kind of things to, I guess, talk about. And then kind of similar to what you said, like there's people could select different things about themselves, like their star sign, like if they want kids in the future, like they could put like a what I'm looking for type of narrative, type of stuff like that. But yeah.
That's cool. I like the idea of like giving prompts when somebody's gonna like send a message, because I think that that's one thing where like there's a certain level of pressure to like say the right thing as the first thing you say. And it's like sometimes, I don't know if you guys have this, but like sometimes I find myself like I'll say something, right? But I'm like, would the real me have said that? Like, or is that like, even with the way I'll say like, oh, how are you doing today? I'm like, do I say, how are you doing today?
In real life.
Why do I feel this pressure to be like very like, I don't know, to be very like upright and like presenting myself in a way. Meanwhile, if somebody had slid into my DMs on Twitter, I would never be like, oh, like, how are you doing?
How are you doing today?
Like, I'm not an uppity, like, that's just not in my, that's not how I greet people. So like, I think that that's definitely something where it's like, even as confident as I present and all of that stuff, even I've like felt like, like, is this the right thing to like start a conversation with? So like, that's cool. Debola, Tinder. Especially, you know what's crazy? It's the fact that you haven't even experienced like dating apps in general, and then you get Tinder. So like,
She got Tinder.
how do you feel? What have you seen?
It was weird. I felt like the thing you said about representation, like there wasn't that. So like I kept getting like, you know, Caucasians, and it was just like, okay, well, I'm not really into these people. And then like the amount of like black girls or black guys that I saw, it was literally like a hand count. It wasn't much at all. It wasn't up to 10 people.
Wow.
And it was like, you also have to pay for a lot of stuff. Like if you want to super like somebody, like you have to like get the gold subscription, which is probably like $40 to $50. And I'm just like,
wait,
You can miss me with that.
yeah.
I'm shook about that because not $40.
So like even if you mistakenly you know, what's that thing when you swipe to the left? Yeah, if you swipe to the left, like you don't want the person, like if you made a mistake and you're trying to like see if you want to reverse,
you
like,
have to pay.
And I'm just like, yeah, I'm definitely not paying for that. And it really didn't, well, the area that I'm in, I feel like that was another issue. The area that I'm in is predominantly white. So like it was quite, you know, it's kind of normal for them to like mostly suggest, you know, white people. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm definitely not into this, but yeah, no.
You gave it a shot. Angela, what's been your experience?
So I started off when I was in New York on Hinge, and I've had Hinge in the past, and I went on one Hinge date and I deleted it in the car because the date was that bad. So this was like my second time trying Hinge again. And when I was in New York,
about this date.
oh, the story. So I go to this date. I'm having a good time. First of all, I don't know if I should say that. So his appearance was not exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I was like, you know what, let me give him a chance. So at that time I was working night shift, like nursing and doing my modeling and doing like something else with my business, and I was like super busy and, you know, just all up and about. My guy was asking me like, oh, so when are you going to slow down? And he was basically being like super sexist, and he wasn't very attractive or wealthy or anything about him was very plus. So I was like, why are you like telling me to calm down and reduce myself for you? I just got in the car and deleted the app and deleted the Bobo from my life.
He was saying all of this in person?
Right.
In person to me, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I have the audacity.
So since New York, like, how's it been?
So New York was really good because there were a lot of fine black men. Like I didn't have a problem that you guys had because in New York,
is that really so?
they were tall, attractive, and they had good jobs. So I was like, wow, it's a different experience. And then I changed my Hinge from New York to Chicago. But when I got back to Chicago, actually, my Hinge was still matching people in New York because of my location. So basically it was like I can date anyone in California, Chicago, New York, like just based on where you put your location. So that was kind of interesting.
Because I've been on Hinge as well. I would say like because of this specifically, I'm like, you know what, let me even get into like these apps like for myself and like really see what's going on. And like I'm in New York and like I don't know because like now I'm starting to ask myself like, am I picky? Like am I a picky person? Because I didn't think I was, but like I'm going, but I think of all of the apps, I do really like Hinge. Just based on like how it's set up, and like I feel very comfortable using it, if that makes sense.
Very personable, yeah.
It's very like it has a very
good grounded picture of someone.
For exactly that. And I feel like even like with like the way that they let you like caption pictures and things like that, it kind of gives you like some insight into like the person's personality. I think it's a really good thing for them to add. But I still just feel like the pickings are slim. I don't know. But I will say, as somebody, like I said before, as somebody that's mainly attracted to Black people in general, there are a lot more people of color in general, but there are a lot more like young Black singles on Hinge for a fact, at least in my area anyway. So I feel like it's a good starting option. Like if I was to recommend like a good starting option for somebody that's like trying to get into dating apps or whatever, that's like similar to me, I would probably recommend Hinge. I would also recommend
say
if you're not like super like if you're flexible when it comes to like ethnicity and stuff like that, then I really like OkCupid because it's very, very, very in depth. Like I don't know how they come up with the questions that they have, and the questions are never ending. Like you could be answering questions for like 9 hours. The more you answer, the more complete your profile becomes. And it's like the questions are very like, I don't know, just very like well thought out, where it's like, okay, you really want, and then they let you, instead of just like concrete answers, right? They let you answer for yourself, and then they'll ask you like what answers you're willing to accept from the other person. So like let's say, okay, what is your political like affiliation or whatever, and I say, okay, I'm liberal, right? And then the options are like liberal, conservative, blah blah blah, and then they'll let you pick like, okay, what answers would be acceptable from somebody that's trying to get to know you. And then they'll ask you like what level of importance there is. So like, is this something that's a deal breaker for you? Is this like not that important, or are you just like saying whatever it is? So like I thought that was really cool. So I feel like OkCupid, if like more people of color would get into it, it would probably be good.
Another thing I forgot to say about Tinder, like it was a whole lot of people who were just like into kinks. So like it was people who were like threesomes, people who needed somebody to fart on their faces. I think I sent that to the group. Yeah. The people who wanted people to fart in their faces, or like, you know, coprophilia and just weird stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, this is.
And to be honest, no kink shaming, but I just feel like I don't know what it is about Tinder that like creates that environment, as opposed to like I wonder why, like how come people are like, people's to go for when they're like looking for things like that is Tinder as opposed to like
Tinder, as opposed to like Bumble or Hinge.
What is it that like makes Tinder like
that gives the vibe?
But I feel like Tinder has been there for longer. Or
I think Tinder is like the most.
It has been there for much longer.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to say, like, when I compare Hinge and Bumble, Bumble is very, very, like, white. So I went to PWI when I went to college, a predominantly white institution, so I don't have a problem dating white guys. Like, majority of people I've dated are white people, because I feel like they're just more attracted to me because I'm skinny, and, like, I fit, like, the stereotypical, like, I don't know what you say, like, how do you... This sounds bad, but like a token Black person, so like you're just like palatable,
white girlfriend.
Do you get what I mean? So that like doesn't really bother me. So on Bumble, sometimes I'll date them, but then down the line, I just realized that it's just mismatching. So on Hinge, I was like, I want to try and date Black people, and I've actually met a couple of really good guys and had good conversations. But one guy texted me. One of my prompts is what would you compare dating you like? And I said, like, ice cream. Who doesn't want to eat ice cream every day? And then this guy now sent me a message and said, my favorite type of ice cream is chocolate like my women. No. And I said, excuse me, sir. And he was a Black man too. So that's why it was even more confusing. I was like, what is going on here? But
I will say though, I don't know if you guys find this to be true as well. Like I keep saying like, okay, I'm predominantly interested in dating like a specific race, ethnicity, whatever. But I will say that being on like actually actively participating in dating, like I've actively been on there and like really trying to like sustain conversations with like people I find interesting or whatever. But I think that it's definitely opened me up more to the idea of like dating outside of my race. It's not as the way it was like such a deal breaker for me before, based on just sentiments that I have towards certain things. I feel like I'm kind of it's pushing me a little more to like look outside of that and like possibly like, because like there's people that will come up and I'm like, this person, like there was this guy that came up. I have no idea what race he is. I don't know, but like he was like my spec to AT, like tattooed. Like he seemed like such a like. I want to look this guy up on LinkedIn. I'm like, let me see, because his thing had CEO. I was like, So when I typed his name into LinkedIn, and I was like, let's see, and the whole thing came up. I was like,
ooh, exist.
okay. And so like I was talking to him, and like there's a couple of other people too, and so I'm just like, I feel like it's a good step for me because it's kind of like pushing me out of like my comfort zone, and like especially because of the fact that I'm majority surrounded by like black people, black women specifically, and just I roll in those circles, and most of my friends are Nigerian, so like I tend to be more exposed to like one specific thing over and over, which I guess was getting really frustrating for me, which is why I even got into dating apps to begin with. But yeah, I think for if it hasn't done any good, because I haven't even necessarily gone on any dates or like entertained the thought of like meeting any of these people in person. I think I'm getting there. Maybe let's see in the next couple months. But if anything, it's definitely opened me up like a lot more. Is like I want to ask you guys what your ideal dating style is. Like how do you ideally like meet people? Like what's the best case scenario for you? Like how do you want to be approached? Where, do you like to do the approaching? What are you guys' like styles when it comes to that?
I think my ideal style would definitely be mutual friends. So like a friend of a friend, and we meet in a casual setting and it happens organically.
Yeah.
And then we go to a couple of dinners and it's good. And then we find common activities we like art galleries or just fun stuff. And he's intellectual and we have great conversations and just keeps going and going and, just lifestyle vibes.
Not
That's
you
it.
with this fairy tale, right?
Right, she had to.
Not you with this whole movie that you just
I was ready.
bruh, I feel you. I feel you on the whole mutual friends thing. Like I think that is my ideal as well. Because I don't know, I'm just like a very like stranger danger type of person. I think that's even one thing that's holding me back from like meeting people or whatever the case might be. Like low key, there was this one guy that I was like, oh, he's cute or whatever, and something about talking to him like made me feel like I might know somebody that knows him. And so I went, he had his Instagram in his bio, and so I went and checked his Instagram, and I saw that we had a couple mutual followers, and that made me more inclined to like be a little more responsive or like more interested, because like I just prefer to like, I don't know, like that's one thing about dating apps that's really taking me out of my comfort zone, because like I prefer to like know somebody that knows you, not because I want to be going behind your back to ask questions about you, but like I just feel like it's more organic that way, and like based on that it's easier for me to like relate to you, because I might have some inkling as to like what type of person you are, like, or like the things that you might be interested in or whatever. But how about the rest of you?
I think mine is actually the opposite. I like when you don't know anyone I know. Cause I don't know, I just like
Say that. I do get that though.
yeah, I like my business being my business until like I'm ready to fully share, that person with my friends type of thing. But like yeah, if you don't know anyone I know, or like the people you know aren't close to me, I'll be like, this the
How do
one.
you meet these people? Like this is a question I genuinely have for people. Like how do you meet somebody that doesn't know anyone you know? Like is it like, okay, I was at this place and this person like approached me or something?
Yeah, like you run into them in bars or, yeah.
I don't really go out. I hate leaving my house. I mean, I go when I have to go, but like I don't
Bro,
like
so where do these people be coming from?
social media, like Instagram, Twitter.
Spares.
That's mostly it.
Oh,
For
social
me,
media is also like one of my things too. But how about you?
I don't know. For me, it's quite different because for someone who doesn't even like to be outside, or like I rarely go out, I would rather meet someone outside because I'm not great at texting. So like the social media thing, the dating app thing, like it's definitely not for me because I'm not a good texter. unless I like really know you. And for me to know you, I have to have seen you in person. I have to have hung out in person. That would make me, reply much faster, like, be okay to have a phone conversation with you or FaceTime with you. But like if I haven't met you personally, I don't think that's why like dating apps is just not for me.
I see that. I'm like that to some extent as well, but I've also had like, I don't know, I like social media because obviously people can lie on social media, but also
People lie anyways.
people can lie.
Right.
This thing you're doing right now, right? I do the exact same thing where I just carry like
The water, yeah.
water. But the last couple of days I've been getting dragged. Like they told me this is Raz apparently.
What are you supposed to do?
I don't get it. Like it's a gallon of water, so it makes.
Isn't that how you measure like drinking a gallon?
Yeah.
My sister dragged me. Some guy that I was on freaking FaceTime with was like, "What?" I was like, "Out of my business, okay?" But yeah, I feel like people can lie on social media and like pretend to be something that they're not. But I also feel like social media gives me like some type of insight into like the type of
Who
person
you are,
especially
exactly.
your opinions, like some of your, just like the essence, like some level of like synopsis of who you are, like,
Of who you are, yeah.
that so it's like I kind of have a basis to go off of, and then like I don't have to overthink like, oh, what should my first like message to this, because me, I don't mind shooting my shot, I don't mind sliding in people's DMs.
Same.
I'll do that all day. Before I feel like it's kind of like the whole leaving a long-term relationship and then really just wanting to like see what's out there and just like sow my oats or whatever. But like it's kind of pushed me to be like, yeah, I'll slide in your DMs or whatever. But if it's on social media, because I have some idea of you from social media, then I'm able to like, I know how to weasel my way in
You
there.
tailor your message.
Like, yeah, I know what like you might find funny or what you might find interesting, or like how you talk. Maybe I've watched your story, or I've gotten something from your cadence that lets me know like, okay, this would be cool to say or whatever. This would get a good response. But like with dating apps, you just don't have that, and so it's just like and then I end up saying things like, "How do you do?" when I don't even say that, but whatever. I mean, I'm not going to shit on the experience because, like, again, like I feel like I'm in a very open space right now where I'm like, okay, I want to try. Like, people talk to me, I'll talk to you back, whatever. But it's going okay. But in the spirit of Valentine's Day, right? I want us to kind of like go around and like describe like our ideal, if there was to be like an ideal like Valentine's Day date, what would that look like for you? Like what would you want to do with somebody? What do you want somebody to do for you?
Debola has hand is
Debola
up.
is like, I already
Ready.
thought about this. I have it written down. Let me go get my notes.
Manifest, babe.
Because I know XYZ is gonna watch this.
You have to release this before Valentine's Day so that they could.
You got 4 days.
Valentine's Day. I don't want to cook. Okay, so I need you to hire a chef.
It's the way she's talking directly to whoever this person is right now.
I just want them to know. Order a chef to my house. Okay, lamb chops has to be on the menu. I love lamb chops, so it has to be on the menu. Very garlicky too, But yeah, and buttery. But anyways, it has to be definitely in an apartment. If it's like an Airbnb or his house, my house, that's fine. We just have to be indoors. A chef dinner, and the chef can go right after. And then watch movies and attempt to make babies, but not really make babies. But yeah.
Girl, you're talking about babies a little too much.
I know. Girl, I'm ovulating. Don't
let your ovaries get the better of you, girl.
Yes.
Please, I'm begging you.
That's why I said attempt to make babies, but we're
attempts.
Just the act of it, Yeah.
I think for me, like same thing. Wait, not same thing. I like to be indoors. So I'm not even gonna bother trying to cook either. Like, just order some food, like some Thai food, get a bottle of Stella Rosa wine, or if you're feeling a little L Stevens, that 18%, just bring it, watch movies. I have a projector in my room, it's a nice little scene. Flowers too would be nice, but yeah, I just like being indoors, just watching something, eating, and just chilling.
Chill vibes.
How about you, babe?
I feel extra, guys. I don't like to be inside. I want to be outside. No, but honestly, I would like to get flowers delivered in the morning with a note like, "Oh, meet me here at blah 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 time." Then me too. I'll meet them at the art gallery first, and we'll go around, do something, do shopping or something, and then go to dinner afterwards.
This art gallery agenda.
Bruh, sis has already planned this art gallery P as per her.
Whoever is watching this art gallery in Chicago.
Yeah, her soulmates are going to.
This is a message for someone, a specific message. And there's a lot of art galleries.
They are, yeah.
That's cute.
What would mine be? Man.
And she said, man.
She does not have one romantic
I'm so you guys don't understand that I'm so sick of me. Like, I'm really trying to be better. But my ideal, if I was dating somebody who wasn't, because me, I'm not a super duper like fancy person. Like I kind of like down and dirty a little bit. I would love to, and this is like, I don't want to put coronavirus into this scenario because my ideal Valentine's Day would not include coronavirus.
COVID.
But like, I would also like flowers or like an edible arrangement, like delivered in the morning to just be like, oh, blah, 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 happy Valentine's Day, love you, whatever. Cute. I love notes. That's one thing I will say that I am very sentimental and romantic when it comes to notes. I don't want to get up like every single like notes from like a lover or a boyfriend or whatever that I've ever gotten. I keep them in my wallet. So like in that way, I really like memorabilia, so I can go back and look and be like, oh, this was from Valentine's Day 2016 or whatever. So I like notes. Something nice and heartfelt would be great, with flowers or. I prefer edible arrangements because I can eat that. Flowers really just be, I don't know.
Yeah,
but they're pretty though. They're cute.
I need to take your Instagram story now.
And then like I would like, I don't know. I'm like, my love language is like acts of service. So like I would love a scenario where it's like, okay, this has actually been done for me before, but like, oh, I'm sending like the cleaner to your house, like they're gonna clean the house and your laundry's gonna be
really
done.
Thoughtful.
Yeah, this person's like they'll clean the house, laundry's gonna be done, don't worry about any of that. Like I would love that. And then like in the evening, go for a nice seafood boil, get drunk together, boardwalk if like it's warm, which it never is in February in New York, but if it was like a nice little walk or something, come home, do the nasty, go to bed. That's it. I just like vibes, and like I would love a nice seafood boil for Valentine's Day. That'd be cute.
I think Juicy Crab is even having some special right now.
Right? First, I'm not really into Juicy Crab though.
Really?
I would love some claw daddies. I don't think somebody's really going to take me out for seafood boil on Valentine's Day.
Manifested, babe.
Nobody to take me, but if that was going to happen, that would be nice. Or send me, or while talking about like acts of service, if you're not going to like send a cleaner or something, like send me like a little voucher to get like a facial and a massage, do my nails, do my feet, like that. I would really appreciate it.
That's very cute. Yeah. I think also I would add like a concert with like Daniel Caesar or somebody just soft and
girl, you want to go all out.
Food,
This said we're gonna be outside experiencing things. None of that indoors rubbish.
None of that indoors nothing. That's for broke people.
So last thing, right? If we each were gonna give anybody like dating advice, what would be like your number one like thing that you that you either stick to or that you're trying to stick to in terms of like dating and like just relationship dynamics and all of that? What would you guys say yours is?
I think for me, it's definitely like trust your instincts when it comes to people, like meeting up with people, especially meeting up people, like texting people, anything. Just if you feel some type of way, like there's probably something that's bigger than you wanted to be with that person at the time. So just like
Definitely. I agree
Wow,
with that
that's such a
100%.
good one.
Yeah, very.
Yeah. I think mine would be
Never mind, go.
okay. I think mine would be sure of yourself. Like I'm a people pleaser, so I'm always like, oh, okay, yeah, it's okay, that's fine. And then people who I don't want to date, I'll go on 3 dates with them, and then I'll feel even worse about cutting it off after the third date. So if you're not feeling the vibes, just cut it off after the first date, babe. Like you cannot please everybody.
Period.
that's
I
true.
would say, do not like lower yourself or like, do not lower yourself for anyone. If it's a certain type of person or, it's a certain expectation you're looking forward to from someone, you should stick to that. And do not try to lower it to meet that other person's standard, because at the end of the day, if people want to do something for you, they will.
Don't do it.
So yeah, definitely find what you're looking for and make sure it's what you're looking for, nothing less. And if anything, find more. So yeah, don't lower yourself for anyone.
I love that.
I love that too. That's really good.
Especially because like as women, especially when you get to like you're in your 20s, and if you've been single for a while, I know that there's people that really are just like, am I looking for too much? Like, should I just settle? Blah blah blah. And I just feel like there's never a reason to settle. Like, definitely not age, because usually the age restrictions we even put on ourselves as women is it's ridiculous. It's not. It's manufactured by society. Let's start there.
And they're arbitrary.
And there are people, like, just remind yourself that there are people who are just like you, that have the standards that you have, that kept the standards that you have, and they've gone on and they found ideal situations for themselves, and they were patient enough to stick to their guns and just be like, okay, yeah, this is what I want, and I'm going to wait until I have that. And that kind of like brings me to mind, where it's like, just be confident in like you and like what you have and like what you bring to the table, and like don't doubt yourself. Obviously do the work to like develop yourself like on the inside to make sure that you're ready for when the right person does come along, but like don't doubt yourself, don't make yourself insecure about things or whatever. Don't critique yourself based on what you think that people will be seeing in you. Just, come in. I feel like everything I go into it with like big dick energy. Like, nobody's going to tell me who I am, so it's like, this is what I have. I think it's great. This is what I'm presenting to you. Are you gonna eat it up or not? And
yeah, that's
give
big.
me that confidence in you.
In a friendship or relationship, like, I know what I bring to the table. I know that if I'm 10 toes down for someone, I'm 10 toes down. I know if I'm going all out, I'm going all out. So I expect the same for me. Like, whoever is dealing with me, I expect that energy from them, because I'm able to respect.
For sure. And a lot of the time, especially like, because this whole thing is really to appeal to women like us. And I know that a lot of the time, like, women will end up, or young women especially, will end up bearing a lot of like the emotional labor of relationships and things like that, because of the fact that they've had to adjust themselves based on the person that they're with, as opposed to making the relationship work for them. And so just from speaking from that angle, like, that's not an ideal situation for anybody. And like, if you keep having to like move the goalposts and stuff like that, like, you need to evaluate like if that situation is even really making you happy to start with. So yeah, that would definitely be my advice. And with that, everybody have an amazing Valentine's Day. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you're doing nothing, have an amazing day nonetheless. People are still going to be going to work and going. I think I have class. Yeah, I have class. It's a regular day for some of us, but like,
Is it Sunday?
If you start going all out and doing romantic stuff, I hope that you enjoy that and you're doing it with somebody that makes you happy.
Exactly.
Safe, everybody, because we don't want a bunch of kids popping up in November/December.
They will at this for you.
Sagittarius, baby.
Sagittarius.
But yeah, unless that's what you're trying to do, though, which is fine too. But yeah, have
my God kids, because
you need to not say the word.
You have those.
Your bag get cut off.
In fact, mute yourself. All right, ladies, I really appreciate you guys coming on and like gisting with me. I loved this episode. I'm so excited for people to see it. You guys can go ahead and plug your socials, whatever it is, if you want people to follow you, etc., etc.
Hi, so this is Debola, aka Debola of Lagos.
Cut the cameras.
Instagram is Debola with an _, and I think so is Twitter, but I'm mostly active on Twitter, but it's very private.
We talking shit, y'all.
Yeah, Instagram, Debola _. I could be talking shit on Twitter,
Okay, my Instagram is @BejoledBud, so that's Bejoled with 2 L's. My YouTube is also the Bejoled Bud. I do lifestyle, fashion. I overshare a lot. I make food. It's just good vibes,
Right.
Yeah. And for me, my Instagram is @F4 and then Fifi. And then my business or my food page, if you're in the Atlanta area, is Fed by Feed.
Period. The food looks mad, guys.
I can't wait to eat it.
Bro, and it's crazy because when I was in ATL this last time, I was looking for like some good designer skill and I couldn't find. And I saw you staring the pots. I was like, hello.
I'm looking at that chicken in her.
When I went, let me just quickly share this. When I went to Atlanta this last time, I went with 4 of my friends or 5. Literally every single one of us got food poisoning. Like, weekend trip, or went Thursday, left Sunday, as far we're just trying to like be hot girls in and out real quick. Food poisoning 2 out of 3 days.
Oh wow.
It was brutal.
What was it from?
Because I ate one Nigerian food from one place that I'm not even going to mention.
Please mention.
The crazy part is I don't even remember the name of the place because my friends, I was the last to arrive, so like my friends ordered.
Oh, they ordered it.
And then I got there, I was like, yes, there's food. I learned my lesson with that one. But yeah, as I was gonna say, everybody's like socials and all of the stuff that they plugged is gonna be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube. As usual, my Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff is the Retro Liaison. Follow my podcast page, TRL Talks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. New episodes every single Wednesday, unless I decide to be a little lazy. I mean, I'm not lazy. You guys have to understand I'm doing a lot of things and I'm a master student at the moment, so you get what you get. But I will be consistent as I always am. If I miss a week here or there, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, season 3, we're here. We're giving quality top tier content like we always do. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and I will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.